In the annals of true crime, few mysteries have been as enduring and perplexing as the unsolved case of Sharon Lee Gallegos. This young girl, known to the world for over 6 decades as Little Miss Nobody, was tragically abducted and murdered. Her case remains an unsolved enigma that continues to confound investigators and captivate the public's imagination. In the sizzling heat of the Arizona summer of 1960, the discovery of a child's body shocked the nation. It would take another 62 years until 2022 for the remains to be finally identified as those of Sharon Lee Gallegos. Her abduction was not a random act of violence, but a meticulously planned operation. Witnesses described the abductors, but they vanished as if into thin air, leaving no trace behind. The tale of Sharon Lee Gallegos is a haunting reminder of the fragility of innocence and the enduring pain of an unresolved tragedy. The story begins on a seemingly ordinary day in the summer of 1960, in the small town of Alamogordo, New Mexico. As the sun shone brightly in the clear blue sky, a young girl named Sharon Lee Gallegos was enjoying the simplicity of her childhood, playing outside her grandmother's house. Unbeknownst to her, this regular day was about to take a tragic turn. While Sharon was engrossed in the innocence of her play, 2 strangers were lurking nearby, their eyes set on the unsuspecting child. The idyllic afternoon was soon shattered by the terror that unfolded. In broad daylight, these 2 individuals swooped down on Sharon, their intentions as dark as a moonless night. Witnesses who were present at the scene provided descriptions of the abductors. The first person was a man, tall and lanky, with a sinister aura that sent chills down the spine of anyone who met his gaze. The second was a woman, roughly middle-aged, with a stern expression that betrayed no emotion. Both were dressed in ordinary clothes, their average appearances belying their heinous intentions. As the duo sped away, taking with them a precious life, the town of Alamogordo was plunged into shock. The unsuspecting community was left reeling from the audacity of the crime. Parents held their children a little closer that night, the safe haven of their small town shattered by the cruel reality of the world outside. In the blink of an eye, the tranquility of that summer day was replaced by a deafening silence. While the town of Alamogordo was plunged into fear and confusion, a grim discovery was about to be made miles away in the desolate landscape of Arizona. This was where the story of Sharon Lee Gallegos took a heartbreaking turn. In the scorching heat of Arizona, miles away from her grandmother's home in New Mexico, where Sharon was last seen, the young girl's lifeless body was found. The discovery was a testament to a horrifying reality that none were prepared for. It was clear that the sweet, innocent girl, whose only crime was being at the wrong place at the wrong time, had met a cruel and untimely death. The condition of the remains painted a bleak picture. Sharon's body showed signs of an attempted burial, suggesting a chilling fact, that her abductors had tried to hide their heinous act in a location different from where her body was eventually discovered. The desolate desert, a silent witness to the atrocity, held onto the secret for years, preserving the evidence of a crime that had shattered a family and a community. The declaration of her death sent shockwaves through the town of Alamogordo and beyond. The hopes that had been kindled with every passing day, every search party, every prayer were extinguished in an instant. The reality was harsh, and it was brutal. Sharon Lee Gallegos, the bright-eyed girl who had her whole life ahead of her, was no more. The discovery of Sharon's body marked the end of a search, but the beginning of a quest for justice. It was a discovery that echoed the despair of a family, a community, and a nation. It was a discovery that would fuel the determination to bring the perpetrators to justice, a resolve that remains unbroken to this day. In the heart of the desert, the final chapter of Sharon's short life was written in the sands. The story of Sharon Lee Gallegos, however, is far from over. Amidst the despair, there is hope. A hope for justice. A hope that Sharon's story will not be forgotten. A hope that no other child has to meet the same fate. With the discovery of Sharon's body, the gears of justice began to turn, albeit slowly and painfully. The initial investigation into Sharon's abduction and murder was a race against time, a desperate attempt to piece together the fragments of a shattered innocence. Witnesses had described the abductors, but their descriptions were vague, a maddeningly elusive puzzle. Two people, one man and one woman, driving a rusty old car, leaving only a cloud of dust and a broken family in their wake. The challenges faced by the investigators were immense. The remoteness of the area where Sharon's body was found, the lack of forensic technology at the time, the absence of clear leads, all these factors conspired to make the pursuit of justice a daunting task. The case became a haunting reminder of the grim realities of crime. Despite an extensive manhunt and countless hours of investigation, the perpetrators remained a ghostly presence. The case eventually stalled, reduced to a file gathering dust in the cold archives of the local police station. Even as the years turned into decades, the memory of Sharon's abduction and murder remained a chilling echo in the minds of those who had known her. The investigation may have slowed, but it never truly stopped. Detectives would occasionally reopen the case, sifting through the evidence with fresh eyes, hoping to find that one clue, that one lead that had been missed. Despite the tireless efforts of the investigators, the perpetrators of this heinous crime